Namaste, myself Triveni Khurana, Department of Physiotherapy and Rehabilitation, JVN, Rajasthan. Today we are going to discuss functional re-education. A normal individual perform activities such as rolling, getting up from lying position independently, day-to-day life, usually in the bed or floor. But a person physical impairment finds difficult to do so. Now, therapist teaches these methods and techniques to carry out such activities independently, usually on mat, as it provides large base of support and low center of gravity, hence known as mat activities. Common activities are rolling, prone on elbow, prone on hand, hook line, bridging, quadruped position, sitting, long sitting and short sitting both, kneeling and kneeling, half kneeling also. Now first we are going to discuss about rolling. Rolling generally progress from log roll to segmental roll. It is roll from supine to sideline or prone or from prone to sideline or supine line. Log rolling produces movement of the entire trunk as a unit around the long axis of the body. Segmental rolling is a progression from log rolling. In segmental rolling, either the upper or lower segment of the trunk moves independently while the other is stabilized. Techniques to facilitate rolling are flexion of the head and neck with rotation, which is used to assist movement from supine to prone position. Next is extension of head and neck with rotation, which is used to assist the movement from prone to supine position. Next, both the hands are clasped, elbow fully extended and shoulder flexed unto 100 degree to 110 degrees. Cross the leg over the other and the upper leg is toward the side of rolling. Now next activity we have prone on elbow. This position provides weight bearing on elbow and forearm. The posture provides stability of glenohumeral joint, co-contraction of scapular muscular and improving head and neck control. This position should be progressed in the progressive manner, as initially the patient should try to assume and maintain the position for few to several minutes without assistance. During maintenance, the timing activities like reading books, watching TV can be incorporated. Patient should try to maintain the posture independently. Weight shifting to lateral direction can be started. Activities like writing, page turning, ball squeezing, can be used. Now, next functional re-education activity is prone on hand. It is intermediate position between the prone on elbow and quadruped positions. From prone on elbow the position, patient fully extends his elbow. In this, base of support and COG becomes more higher. The weight is borne on hands, wrist, elbows and shoulders. The progression with the same with prone on elbow. The final step is performed in the form of push-ups in prone position, which is also helpful in increasing strength of triceps, biceps and pectoral muscles. Now next re-educational activity is hook line. In this, patient is in supine position with hip and knee flexed and feet flat on the floor. In this position, the base of support is large and center of gravity is lower. Patient performs lower trunk rotation by swinging the lower extremity side to side. Our next functional re-educational activity is bridging. In this, the patient is in hook-like position and elevates his pelvis off the surface. Progression of the activity: assume and maintain the position with or without assistance, then maintain position independently, and then elevation of pelvis off the surface, again depressing it on the surface, and it is performed several times. Resistance can be given on the ASIS, that is anterior superior iliac spine, and again decrease the angle of hip and knee flexion. What are the various clinical implications of bridging? It improves pelvic mobility, it relieves pressure, it strengthens the low back and hip extensors, and it is also helpful for using bed bend. Our next functional re-education activity is quadruped position. In this, the patient bear weight in all four limbs. The patient usually goes in quadruped position from prone on elbow or prone on hand position. Progression of the activities takes place as weight shifts in forward, backward and side to side directions can be incorporated. Raising of one of the upper limb and bearing weight on the rest of the three limbs. Raising of one of the upper limb and contralateral lower limb. Increase the time gradually for 2 and 3. Now, what is the clinical implication of quadruped position? In this, patient weight bearing on lower extremity joint. Step towards weight bearing in erect position. Strength and mobility required for so many functional activities by upper extremity, hence it's useful. Functional activities such as cleaning floor, gardening, weeding, planting seeds can be used to teach static and dynamic stability of quadruped position. When balance and stability have been achieved in quadruped, crawling may be started. This activity facilitates the coordination of whole body, including reciprocal movement of the arms and legs as requiring walking. Now, our next functional re-education activity is sitting. Sitting is a position which requires and facilitates trunk control and balance too. It also allows some amount of the weight to be borne by upper extremity. There are two forms of sitting need to be practiced. These are long sitting and the second is short sitting. First, we are going to discuss about long sitting. In this, patient sits with knees fully extended, hips flexed, hands may or may not support the upper part of the body weight, or hand may be positioned laterally, posteriorly or anteriorly with relation to pelvis. Next is short sitting. Patient sits on high surface. High surface may be bed or chair with knees at the edge, making hip and knee 90 degrees flexed and fit flat on the floor surface. In this, base of support is smaller than the long sitting. Progression of both positions may take place as initially the patient assumes and maintains position with support. Patient raises one hand, placing the weight on another one. He repeats the movement with other hand. Patient sits independently without any external or hand support. Patient performs activities such as ball throwing, light to heavyweight, or clapping overhead. Push-ups in both types of sitting should be performed with or without push-up blocks. Increase the number of repetitions gradually. Our next re-educational functional activity is kneeling. Patient comes into kneeling position with hips extended and knee flexed at 90 degrees from quadruped position and bears weight on both the joint. This position also improves trunk pelvis control and upright balance too. In this, the base of support is smaller and center of gravity is higher as compared to sitting position. Progression in this activity should be patient shifts weight from one to another knee. Ball throwing and other activities should be performed. Kneel walking would be the final progression for the kneeling position. Now, our next functional re-education activity is half kneeling. In this, patient assumes the position, the limb which lies posterior bears more weight. This position improves pelvic control, hip extension, ankle and knee movement. Progression should take place as weight shift from one limb to another and even interior and posterior. Upper limb activities such as ball throwing, bag lifting and clapping should be practiced. Now, last is re-education with hydrotherapy. It is indicated in the case of paralysis, quadriparesis, cerebral palsy and hemisphere. With the principles, the upward force in the water which work against gravity reduces weight stress on weight-bearing joints in standing. The force of gravity and buoyancy balance each other and minimize muscular effect in standing. The water provides resistance against the movement of the body and extremity. All these three functions of water make the patient stand up more comfortably in the water and then in the land. Thank you.